Hey guys, Sean here. So I just finished watching the 6-hour Rebel Moon director's cut. I mean, I've seen it before, but I wanted to rewatch it again for this review. And I started about 8 in the morning after my sister and brother-in-law went to work, because if you guys have seen my Furiosa review, I'm now living with them due to, for lack of better phrasing, I got booted out of my apartment. It wasn't really an eviction. It was more they just decided not to renew my lease for some reason. I don't really know. But I basically covered that in my Furiosa review. But so this is for my Rebel. This is Rebel Moon. Now, having seen this, and I've seen both this and the PG-13 versions, I have now seen every movie that Zack Snyder has made. Every one of them. I have seen Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, Army of the Dead, and then now Rebel Moon. So now, this was split into two movies because it was so long that Zach didn't want to lose any character stuff. And yet, Netflix made him cut it down and make it PG-13 for reasons I have no clue. So, basically, the director's cuts are known. So the PG-13 versions are known as Part 1, A Child of Fire, and Part 2, The Scargiver. The director's cuts, which I'll mostly be covering, are Chapter 1, Chalice of Blood, and Chapter 2, Curse of Forgiveness. So basically, it is. So given I'm counting, can we referring to mainly reviewing mainly the director's cuts. So I'm just going to call it Rebel Moon, the director's cut, like that original poster had it listed. So Rebel Moon, the director's cut, is a 2024 American epic space opera film directed by Zack Snyder from a screenplay he co-wrote with Kurt Johnston and Shay Hatten. The film takes place on the moon of Veld, where it basically mostly takes place on a moon called Veld, and basically it's about, how should I say this? The governing body known as the Mother World, and they're a legion of Imperium, called the Imperium, I think, are basically hunting down these people called the Blood Axes, and they go to this moon of Veld to try and get some food, and they're trying to take some of their grain and food for themselves. However, when the people of Veld rebel, I wasn't really trying to make it. When they rebel, and basically an all-out war happens, and so our main character Cora has to go around the galaxy to recruit allies to help combat the Imperium. Basically, that's basically the rough plot synopsis of the movie. So basically, the director's cut is, like I said, it's roughly 6 hours. It's 6 hours and 17 minutes for both movies. But if you watch the PG-13 versions, which I would highly recommend don't, those tally up to about 2 hours and 14 plus 2 hours and 2 minutes, 4 hours and 16 minutes for the PG-13 versions, and 6 hours and 17 minutes for the director's cuts. Let's see. The cast includes Sofia Boutella, Djimon Hounsou, Ed Skrein, I think I pronounce it. A couple of people whose names I'm not going to try and name because I'm going to butcher them. And Ray Fisher, Charlie Hunnam is in the first one, but not in the second. and then Anthony Hopkins is in both. So, and then see, and then the composer was Junkie XL or Tom Holkenborg. These were both released on Netflix with a combined budget of $166 million. So overall, what did I think and how did I feel? Well, I enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was a fun, like, I enjoyed them for what, I'll say this. I don't think this is one of Snyder's best movies. But I will say this. I like it more, okay, of the movies of his that I think it's better than the Sucker Punch. That's obvious right out the get-go. It's better than the Owls of Ga'Hoole, which I forgot to mention. I've seen that one. I like it more than Army of the Dead. I might like it a little more than his Dawn of the Dead remake. I think. Like, I don't know. I'd probably put this at number 5, I think. Because I know I still love Man of Steel. I still love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I still love the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. I still love the Director's Cut of Watchmen. So, I think maybe I'd put this at 5. I don't really know. But I'll say this. All the actors, I think, are fine in their roles. I had a great time watching this. Again, I would highly recommend watching the director's cuts. Just skip the PG-13 versions, honestly. I only watched them once, and once these director's cuts dropped, they're the only versions that I plan to watch. Like, if one thing can be said about Snyder, it's he always works better in the long form, not in the sliced and diced form, if you will. So I'll just say that to watch the director's cuts, and I will fair warn you, the director's cuts include, a lot of like violence, gore, nudity, for reasons I don't know, but it does. Like just stuff like that, and that's why they're R-rated, because of that stuff. So yeah, I guess I think that's all I can really say. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will catch you guys